everybody, welcome back to another episode of Quick Roll. My name is Cory, I am with Talking Cardboard, and on tonight's episode, I am excited to bring to you a couple of the games we played over this past week, a couple awesome games that I am just excited to talk about. The first game we got to the table being Wingspan, which has been played multiple times by our group already, and the second game is a new one that I got to the table not only with the board game group, but also with my wife, and that is Black Angel. So let's go ahead and get talking about them. So, like I said, the first game we played was Wingspan over this last week. We got to the table and haven't gotten it to the table in the last few weeks, but as soon as we brought it and took the components out, we just remembered how beautiful everything was and how silky smooth the gameplay is, and we just fell in love with it all over again, and it makes me want to play it right now again. But in Wingspan, you've got a player board, and on the player board you have 4 different things you can do. You can do everything from play a bird, you can get more resources, you can lay more eggs, or you can draw more cards, and you trigger that with a cube. So you get action cubes at the beginning of your turn. You use one of those action cubes to trigger an action, and like I said, the 4 different things are very intuitive, very streamlined, very easy to play. The cool part about this game though is you get a huge stack of different birds, and I heard there's actually an expansion coming out for it sometime soon that'll add even more birds. I don't know if it'll be, I heard there's going to be birds from different countries and in various regions of the world, and I'm really excited about that. Who knows what kind of birds they're going to bring, but it'll just add more goodness to the game. And hopefully a couple of new mechanisms too, but the mechanisms are real fun. The cards, as you play the birds out on your player board, it'll actually make the actions get better. So when you play more cards in the get more resources row, you actually get more and more resources throughout the game. The more birds you play in that row, the more slots it opens up for getting a better get resources action in the future. Same thing with laying eggs. If laying eggs in that row, if you play more bird cards, it actually covers up the slots, and each slot to the right gets better and better to lay more eggs. So as you play birds, those cover up, and the lay eggs action gets better. Same thing with draw more cards, which is the wetlands on the bottom. The more birds you play, the more cards you get to draw by using that single action cube. As the game moves on, the action cubes dwindle down smaller and smaller. Your pile of actions becomes more finite and more smaller as the game goes on, because at the end of each round, the player who did the best at whatever that round objective was gets to place their cube at the top and get the most points for endgame scoring, and so on and so forth. Everybody takes one of their action cubes and places it on however well they did with that end round scoring goal, and then at the end of each round you do the same thing. So before you know it, you may start the game with 8 or 9 action cubes, and by the end of the game, you're only using about 6 of them. So the game just really moves along at a very good pace. A whole lot of fun, very beautiful to look at, very great production, and very streamlined play. And if you're not into birds, still buy the game. It's still great. If you are into birds, you'll love it even that much more. If you're a fan of tableau building, engine building, action selection games, very Euro style, but if you are into that, you will love Wingspan. The other game that I've gotten to the table a few times now is Black Angel, definitely a new one. Kind of in the light of Trois. If you've played Trois in the past, basically a dice rolling, dice action selection game. Black Angel kind of follows in the same footsteps in that regard as that one mechanism from Trois from years and years ago. I don't know if you've all heard of that game or not, but that's the only part of it that actually follows in the footsteps of. It's just that one mechanism. You roll out dice on the beginning of your turn, and depending on how many pips the dice show, those are how many actions you can do at different slots around the board. And but that's okay. If you roll poorly and all your dice are very low, you actually can buy dice from other players and they cannot refuse, which is really cool. You can spend a crystal, give it to your opponent, and say, hey, I'll gladly take that 3. If I rolled all 0s and 1s, I'll gladly take your 3 from you and use it for my own benefit. So you've got different actions where well, basically the premise of the game is that the Black Angel is traveling through space to a new planet. Earth became uninhabitable, and you are trying to get to the new world. You've got these robots that are basically the driving force of the ship, and trying to make sure that the ship gets to the destination on planet Spess safely. And and it'll take generations and generations to get there. So you're controlling a set of robots, all of your opponents are controlling their own set of robots and trying to do their best to drive the ship forward as they can. You've got these reavers that are attacking the ship and doing damage to the ship. So one of the actions would be to repair the ship. So you get these, they're called damage cubes, but they're also debris cubes, so you can collect debris cubes and do different things with those. Like you can spend debris to flip dice to their other opposite side, which can really upgrade them. So that's real cool. You've got that mechanism. You've got another one where you're actually taking your robots and you're fitting them into these really tiny little spaceships, and you get to shoot them out of the Black Angel on the spaceport and go traveling around and playing your own mission cards on different planets around space to get unique special ability actions that nobody else can use. The only time they can use them is if they use their ship to go to your mission card to trigger that effect. But you also get bonus victory points from playing that card as well. There's also another technology type, not a technology tree, but a technology tiles board where you can buy different technologies, slide them onto your board, and those give you different special abilities as well. And as you slide them and push them off your board, that could trigger some endgame scoring and special effects as well. But anyway, very complex game, a lot heavier than I expected it to be. I believe it's like a 3.81 out of 5 for a complexity rating on BoardGameGeek.com, which is a lot more than I expected. After playing the game once, I was like, wow, this is a lot heavier than I thought it would be. After playing it again, I was like, it's still pretty heavy, but it's making more sense. Playing it, another time, it makes just a whole lot more sense, and it just really plays a lot more smooth and has quickly climbed the ladder of one of my favorite games that I've played in a while, that's for sure. And I couldn't have said that after the first play, but after a few plays, you can definitely start to see how the game is supposed to be played. And yeah, I just wasn't not expecting as heavy of a game, but if you're willing to stick it through and really learn it after a couple plays and just stick it out, I think you will enjoy it too. It'll definitely take a Euro-style gamer to love a game like this, because it is Euro through and through. A little bit on the longer side too. It says 60 minutes to 120 minutes. It definitely plays more on that, especially for your first few games, it definitely plays more on that 2-hour time length. With the first teach too, it takes at least 45 to 60 minutes just to learn the game. So your first experience will be a 3-hour sit down with it. But if you can look beyond that, give it another try after that, and just kind of come to terms with it, I think you will really enjoy it. So either Wingspan or Black Angel, leave comments below. Let me know what you think of both of these games. If you've played them, if you want to play them, if you are seeking to buy it in the next couple days and try it. Anyway, let me know your excitement level for these games. And if you have played them, let me know if you like them or if you don't like them and why. And we'll have a conversation back and forth in the comments. If you like this video, please like it, and maybe choose to subscribe to the channel if you like what we're doing here. We will come out with more and more content each week as we try to build the channel bigger and bigger, and eventually add more people to the channel, hopefully giving their take on the games, and that's what it's all about. Also, we're coming out with a new Google Hangouts show starting here soon. The date today is September 23rd, 2019, so hopefully either this Wednesday or the following Wednesday we will start that. So it'll be a new take on the channel where we go over not only different designers and games and different news about the board game industry, but we also have some fun with it as well, and just kind of hang out and talk about games. And you can leave comments live as we do it, and we'll respond and just have some fun with it. So anyway, you all have a great day, and I hope you all have a fun time gaming.